What happens in the best case scenario for Democrats in the 2026 midterm elections? Do Democrats regain the majority, or do Republicans remain in power for the remainder of the Trump presidency? Right now, there are 53 Republicans and 47 Dems, but who will win this hypothetical blue wave year? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. So starting off with the Democratic states, in these states, Democrats really shouldn't have much of a problem holding their seats in 2026. And these states include Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, Minnesota, Illinois, Delaware, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Virginia. Yeah, like in all these states, Democrats benefit from having like a strong party infrastructure, favorable demographics, and incumbents or nominees that fit the electorate well. So Democrats really shouldn't struggle in any of these states at all. And on the flip side, there are also a number of states that are safely Republican, even in like a strong Democratic year, like in 2026. So Republicans are very likely to hold Montana, Indiana, Wyoming, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and South Carolina. These states really remain deeply conservative at the federal level, and Democrats just simply don't have the coalition or recent track record to seriously contest anything at all in these states. So these states will be safe Republican states. And now where things get a little more interesting, these are going to be the likely Democratic states. In this best case scenario, I'm going to be putting Maine and Michigan in this category. So for Maine's kind of interesting. They consistently vote Democrat for the president, but in senatorial elections, Suzanne Collins has really been doing very well in these races and continues to win even though they vote for Democrat in the presidential elections. But I believe in 2026, in the right environment, that Democrat will be able to win in this state. So Maine, I'm going to put for likely Democrat. And also for Michigan, Michigan really remains a Democratic-leaning state, has a very strong labor base in the Rust Belt, proven ability to win statewide, and if the party continues its momentum from the recent elections in 2025 into 2026, I see Michigan really being a likely Democratic state. And then on the Republican side, I'm going to categorize Iowa as a likely Republican in the scenario. So Iowa used to be a classic swing state, steadily shifted to the right at the federal level, and Democrats really need an exceptionally strong candidate, and I don't see that happening in 2026. So Iowa's going to remain a likely Republican state. And moving on to the lean category, so these lean states are going to be competitive, but still one party is going to have a little bit of an edge in this situation. So starting off, Florida's going to lean Republican, despite Democrats hoping demographic change will help them long term, especially with Donald Trump and the Republican Party becoming less popular among Hispanic populations in recent years. Along with the shifts happening currently, and with just how entrenched the Republican Party has become within Florida, I see it unlikely Democrats being able to flip that state. So Florida's going to be in the lean margin. And moving on to the tilt states is really, truly where the impact's going to be made, what really depends or what really results in who's going to win Senate control in 2026. So starting off from west to east, I'm going to give Alaska, going with Alaska first. Alaska is still a conservative state, but former Congresswoman Mary Peltola, she actually won statewide in 2022, her election there. She's very well known in Alaska, and with ranked choice voting, coalition support, and maybe even strong rural turnout, Democrats could realistically pull off a narrow upset in the situation where Democrats are highly favored in 2026. Moving on to Texas. Texas will be an uphill battle for Democrats. And in the Democratic primary, we have candidates such as James Talarico or Jasmine Crockett. But they will be strong contenders, but the state remains structurally conservative at the federal level. So I'm going to put Texas at a tilt margin for this election scenario. And moving on to Nebraska. So Nebraska is a very interesting race. We actually have Dan Osborne running as an independent in that state, and Democrats are not running a candidate in this election. So in this scenario, if he's able to consolidate Democratic support and pull over crossover voters, he could actually manage a surprise win. So instead of saying tilt Democrat or tilt Republican, I'm going to say it's going to be a tilt independent. And Dan Osborne actually said himself that he's not going to caucus with either party, but a lot of his political views really more align with the Democratic Party. So this will be a win for the Democratic Party and a loss for the Republican Party. And moving on to Georgia. So Georgia's going to narrowly tilt Democratic here. John Ossoff has been performing really well in the state, especially with suburban turnout and continued growth in the Atlanta metro area. He remains very popular, so I believe in this state, Georgia will be tilt Democratic. And moving on to Ohio. Ohio is a very competitive state. It's been trending more right recently. Donald Trump won those states by high margins in 2020 and 2024. But in this race, Sherrod Brown, the former senator, is actually running again to win this seat, J.D. Vance's vacated seat, to serve out the rest of his term. I believe that in this scenario, with Democrats being so popular in 2026 and Republicans having a lower popularity, that in Ohio, Democrats can actually pull up an upset and win the seat. So I'm going to give Ohio a tilt margin. And finally, finishing out the states, for North Carolina, Roy Cooper is actually running as a Democrat in the senatorial election. Roy Cooper has never actually lost an election in North Carolina. He's severely popular. Most voters in this state know who he is. And in this scenario, in 2026, Republicans are going to be unpopular and Democrats are going to have higher popularity. And with Roy Cooper just being an electoral anomaly and just being so popular in a Republican state like North Carolina, I'm going to give North Carolina a tilt Democrat. I believe that Roy Cooper has a chance to win this election and give another seat to the Democratic Party. So when you look at this map, Democrats' best case scenario relies heavily on candidate quality, turnout, and a favorable national mood. And this isn't necessarily an easy path, but it is possible under the right conditions. So let me know in the comments whether you agree with my predictions here for a Democrat best case scenario, and whether if you disagree. And let me know if you want to do a Republican best case scenario next. That's something I was also considering as well. So when you look at the map, Democrats come out with 51 seats. Republicans are reduced to 48 seats, and there's one independent in the chamber. It's not a blowout or a landslide, but it's a narrow majority that they can work on. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know down below in the comments if you guys have any more video suggestions, or if you agree or disagree with my predictions in the comments. I hope you guys continue to watch my videos. I will be posting again tomorrow. Have a great day and see you guys soon.